Today I'm going to show you how you can sit down at your computer and build a fully functioning mobile app running on your device with no coding experience, no technical background whatsoever, just using a few tools and the help of AI. So let's get to it. I'm going to show you what I mean. So just real quick, first things first, this is definitely a beginner's video. So if you're, experienced in coding, you already have a background in the area, then this is going to be a slow video for you. But if this area is new to you, you're not really sure about AI and how it integrates with coding and building apps and software, then this is definitely the resource for you. So we're going to get right into it. We're going to download first a couple of tools we need to start building, and then we'll get right into building the actual app. So the first thing we need is something called Node. So in your browser, we're just going to type in Node.js. We'll do a search for it, and it's usually the first thing that pops up, node.js or nodejs.org. We'll click here, and on the very first page, we're just going to click this Get Node.js. So I already have it installed, but I'm going to try to walk through as much as possible with you on this part. So down here on Windows, we're going to click Windows Installer. That should download up here. It doesn't take long. We'll click the installation. And then from here, we're just going to follow the prompts as you would, pretty much install any other piece of software. It's really, really simple. So we just do next. We can go accept. We can do next. We'll do next again. And next. Automatically install necessary tools. We can check here and click next. And then we'll just install. Now that that's done installing and it's completed, we now need to install Cursor. This is going to be the program we're using to actually code and talk to AI and get it to do the coding for us. Think of Cursor as like Photoshop for photos or Word for text documents. So in the browser, we're just going to go to cursor.com. And right here again on the front page, we get the download link. We'll click download. Once it's downloaded, we'll click on that link, and then we will click accept the agreement, click next, and we'll just do next, and we can do next here. We're going to check the create a desktop icon, and then we'll go next and install. This one may take a little bit longer. It's a little bit bigger program file than the Node.js. So we'll come back once this is finished with the download. Once it's finished the installation, you should get this window that just says that the installation has been completed. If you run into any issues or you have any problems with the installation, let me know and I'll definitely try my best to help. But you should get this completed window once everything installs successfully. Okay, so once the program starts up for the first time, we get this window. So we're going to sign up for a new account, or if you already have Cursor, of course, you could just log in. So we'll click sign up. And then this is going to open up a new browser tab where we can continue to sign in. And then from here, you can sign in with your Google account. You can sign in with GitHub if you have a GitHub account or Apple ID. So I'm just going to sign in here with my account. X.com, enter, and password. If you create an account with an email address, of course, the process is going to be a little bit different. You'll have to create the account, but outside of that, you should be logged in. Once you log in, you'll get this on the screen where it says log in to Cursor Desktop. We're going to do yes, log in. And then from there, we can close this out. And now we're back in Cursor and we're logged in. All right, now that we're logged into Cursor, it's gonna ask us some questions. Do you want to import from VS Code, key bindings, chat language? All of this we can leave at default unless you know what these settings are. And of course, if you've been using VS Code, you can pull imports and set key bindings and all that good stuff. But for now, we're just gonna leave everything at default and click continue. We'll click continue. And this is the beginning of our project. So we're just about ready to start building our project. So what exactly are we building? So I think it's good to start off with something a little bit simple. I'm thinking a budget app where, the user can enter a monthly budget and then can also enter expenses for the month that deducts from that monthly budget, and you can kind of organize funds that way for the month. So before we begin building the actual app, let's go to our desktop and create a folder that's going to hold all of the files and contents for that application that we're building. So we'll just right click on the desktop. We'll go down to new, we'll do folder, and let's call it let's build. So something to think about and kind of take note of is that when you're dealing with code, try not to use spaces in folder names or file names. You can use an underscore like this, or you can use a hyphen like so, and that works just as good. The reason being is that some programs in some languages will throw errors if if you have spaces in the file names or in the folder names. So now that we have that folder built, we can go back to cursor, and on this main screen we're just going to click open project, and from here we'll navigate to the desktop, click on our folder, and then click select. And now we have the beginning of our project. So once we're on this screen, it looks a little off to me just because of what I'm used to. So for me personally, I think the flows a little bit better if we go up here to view, and we'll come down to appearance, and then we'll move over to the right, and we'll go down to move primary sidebar right. So that's going to sidebar to the right, and then we can close these out. If you get any of these, you may or may not if you use a different code editor. But once we're here at the very top, we have these three little icons, these sidebar icons. I'm gonna click the furthest one to the right that says toggle agents sidebar, and that turns that off. Now we have three clean panes to work in. This is going to be our folder directory. This is going to show all the files that are in our Let's Build folder. You see it says Let's Build right here. It's empty now, of course, because we don't have anything in there. And then this center file is the actual editor where we can edit code. And over to the right is where we're talking to the AI the same way we would, Grok, ChatGPT, or any other AI. Okay, so this is where the magic happens. This is where we're actually going to start to build. So over here in the chat panel, we're going to click here. We'll right click, and I'm just going to paste, or we can do Control V since I'm not getting a right click for some reason, but we're just going to paste in the text that we want the AI to work from, or the actual build we want it to build. So we're going to say in this directory, create a new React Native app using Expo and Expo router, and we're going to give it a list of requirements. This is the technical part that you don't have to remember. I'll have this in the description. You can just copy and paste over, and maybe in future videos we can kind of explain exactly what we're asking it to do and go over all these little small nuanced technicalities of what's actually happening. But once we have this request pasted here, we'll just click the little send button, and it's going to begin to create the actual app. So we'll get these a lot throughout the process. You have to give it permission to do certain things. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to check auto search web, which means it doesn't have to ask me a second time, hey, can I search the web to complete the task that you've given me. So as those populate and as those come up, I'll just give it access to continue. It's going to take a few minutes, but you will start to see files populate over here on this side as it's doing its creation. So the last piece we need is going to be an app on our phone. This is going to allow us to take the app that we're building and run it on our actual device. So you can go to the iOS store, the Google Play Store, and look for Expo Go. EXPOGO. Once you find it, download it, and then once it's downloaded, you can just close the app. We don't need it right now, but it's going to come into play here in just 1 second, and it's done. It's completed the app. We have folders, we have files, everything is done. All we need to do is start the app so that we can see it on our phone. And the way we're going to do that is if we come over here to the very top, we're going to open Terminal, and then we're going to click on New Terminal. This gives us a new terminal window. Think of this terminal as a way to talk to the application or talk to your computer, whereas this chat pane over here is a way to talk to the AI. So right here at the bottom, we can see we need to run this last command here. So I'm just going to highlight here. We're going to copy. We'll come over here, and instead of Control V, we're just going to right click one time, and then that pastes it in place. So now we'll press enter, and it takes a second to load up the server for the application, but once it's loaded, we should be able to see this on our phone, and I'll show you how. Once it's done, you should get this screen here at the bottom in the terminal. You probably won't see anything just yet, so you may have to scroll up a little bit, and we're looking for a QR code. If you don't get this code, or if you get some type of errors, let me know. I'll definitely try to help. If you can't see this QR code, the full thing, let's say it's down like that, then we can grab this handle here and pull this window up, and that'll allow us to see the full QR code. The next thing you have to do is just take your phone, open your camera app, and scan the QR code. It's going to pop up a banner at the very top of the camera app. You tap that banner, and that's going to allow you to see the app on your phone. It takes a second to load, but it should load in. And now we have an actual app that we've used AI to build for us running on our phone. It's not much. Think of it as like the foundation to a house. We're going to build on top of this, but we have a foundational app that's built that AI has built for us, and it's running on our phone. So now we'll move to building the actual budget app, and it's crazy simple. All right, so here's the next prompt that we're going to give it. And again, I'll try and link this in the description. So we're just saying, using the Expo React Native project, create the foundation of a simple budgeting app, and then we're going to give it some requirements to use. So we'll paste this in, we'll hit enter, and then we'll allow it to work through the requirements that we gave it. All right, so it's done. It's time to see what did it actually build. So here in the terminal, we can click anywhere in the terminal, and if you see it says here, press Control C to exit. So we're just going to hold Control on the keyboard and tap C. Then we're going to get a stopped server, and all we're doing is we're restarting the server. Each time we go over here and we have it to make changes to the project, we're going to restart the server to see the changes on the phone. So once we have stopped server, we can click here, we press up on the arrow key, and that'll give us the last command we ran in the terminal. Then we just press enter, and it's going to reload the server, restart the server, and we're going to have to scan that QR code here again in a second. Another good thing is to also close the Expo app out so that when you scanning now, we can click the new banner, and it'll also load a new fresh state for the app itself. So we got less budget. You see it's downloading there at the bottom, and we should get our app here shortly on the phone. There we go. So it looks like we are able to add an expense, and we can add a budget, but I do not see where I can delete an expense or edit the budget. So I'm just going to make a couple of quick changes here. We're going to say, give the user the ability to add or delete expenses and also edit the budget. All right, and then we're going to give that a couple seconds and see what it comes up with. Okay, so it's done with those changes. The changes usually don't take near as long as when you're actually building the app for the first time around. So we're just going to go back to the terminal, scroll all the way down. We're going to hit Control C to stop the server, press up on the arrow key, press enter to restart the server. And then I'm going to close out the Expo app from running in the background on my phone. and we'll get the camera ready to rescan that QR code. So here's the QR code, scan, tap the banner. It's loading in. We got the Let's budget here. And all of this can be customized, of course, for, the final app. But this is just a test environment. So this is just a splash screen we get. So now we do have the ability to delete expenses. No? Oh, edit budget. I didn't see that. Edit budget there. So now we do also have the ability to edit the budget. Let's say if we do that, we can add an expense back. We'll say rent, and it works. So that's it. I mean, we have a working budgeting app. It's simple. It needs a lot of polishing and needs a lot of work. But the fact that we have something built using AI running on our phone is just amazing. And I mean, it's just so much you can do with this software. So I really hope that this helps you out. I really hope this shows you something more important, in that you don't have to wait to create. And I know that sounds cliche-ish, but that's really not even what I'm going for. I mean, a real principle, in the sense that you don't have to wait until everything lines up perfectly before you start to move in the direction that you feel you should move, or you start to venture out and try something new. I think it's amazing when we can take the creativity that God has given us in our mind and place it and put it into something that's tangible, to share with other people, whether that's cooking or art or coding or, building a house. It doesn't matter what it is. To be able to take that and put it into something tangible and share it with other people is just an amazing thing, an amazing feeling. So I hope this inspires you to build something great, and I look forward to seeing you guys in the next one.